Hey, Team Fuel. I am sorry I missed you last week, and I'm so glad to be back with you again this week. I hope you're all well. I wanted to talk a little bit this week about calming down and consequences, um, but mainly when we think about calming down, it's because we have strong emotions, right? Can you think of any strong emotions? What would be a strong emotion? And if you want to pause and come back, you can. Strong emotions might be anger, right? Sadness can be a strong emotion when we're deeply sad. Um, maybe being excited, really, really, really excited to where, have you ever been told to calm down because you're maybe having a little bit more fun than what you should be in the moment for what's appropriate? There's lots of things. Embarrassment, there's a strong emotion, right? Where you kind of just wish you could just go run and hide, maybe, because of something that has drawn attention to you that you didn't like. There's lots of strong emotions, right? And so, a lot of times when we have those strong emotions, um, our thinking brain kind of shuts off, and our emotion brain is telling us that maybe we need to run and hide or fight or um, do all kinds of things that might get us in trouble in the moment. So I don't know if we've gone through this before, but if you think of your brain as your hand, and you think of when we say blowing your lid. So a lot of times we talk about that with anger. If you blow your lid, it just means that you're not thinking, right? That you're kind of acting out according to what your emotions are telling you to do. So when we blow our lid, it's kind of like our thinking part of our brain blows up, right? And we only have this emotion part of our brain is in control now. And that emotion part, it's not very smart. It just tells us how to survive, which is really cool, but it doesn't help us think. So this part is telling you you either need to hide or run or fight, and that may not always be appropriate. Maybe something embarrassing happens in public, and the right thing to do isn't one of those things this part of your brain is telling you to do. So we need to calm down in order to get our thinking brain to come back down. And the best way to do that is just to recognize, hold on, I'm embarrassed or I'm angry or I'm really sad. I need to think before I act. And that's hard to do, even for adults sometimes. We want to immediately yell or say something or do something that we're going to immediately regret or make it worse or maybe more embarrassing. So in order to calm down, we got to tell ourselves, hold on, I I am feeling scared. Say what you're feeling. I'm feeling anxious. I'm nervous. Those really strong emotions, because just saying that brings your thinking brain right back down so then you can make a plan. Maybe you find yourself shaking a little bit because you were scared or really angry. Sometimes we'll feel our tummy kind of stop. It'll feel gurgly. We might feel our face turn red or get a headache, out of nowhere, feel a little bit dizzy. And that's our body getting ready to run, hide, or fight when maybe that's not the most appropriate reaction. So we might take in some deep breaths, really slow, and then slowly breathe it out. And we've practiced those before. There's other things we can do. Maybe you can count by twos. Maybe you might want to count down from maybe 100, or there's just different things you can do to calm down. Maybe think some positive thoughts, right? And then we can act, because our actions have consequences, right? And the consequences are hard to think about when we've popped our lid, right? We want to bring that back down so we can think, okay, do I need to apologize? Do I need to do anything in this moment? Maybe it's best just to be quiet. It'll depend on what you're dealing with at the time, but so you can make a smart decision, because our actions also affect others. And we want to have good relationships with others, right? It makes things easier for all of us. And that doesn't necessarily mean doing what they want us to do, but what's going to turn out best for everyone involved, right? What's safe for you and what's safe for others around you. So I know that's a lot to think about, but when we think about those strong emotions and just the little things that we need to do to calm down. And a lot of times we think we just need to solve the problem right now. But sometimes if we solve the problem just with this part of the brain, it's going to make things worse instead of better. And we might, unless you're being chased by a bear. But, and then, yeah, you're going to want to maybe run and hide. But we really, a lot of times we don't need to survive the moment. We need to sit and think about what's best down the road and the consequences of our actions. And so I know that's a lot. And maybe you'd want to, right after this, think about a time that maybe you were embarrassed, or maybe you felt scared or really anxious, maybe something that's got you worried. And the best way, kind of go through those actions of telling yourself to stop, name what that feeling is, and think about what are my options with that. And so anyway, I hope that was helpful. I look forward to seeing you all next week, and thank you so much for joining me this week.